Hey there, welcome back to Tennille Talks, y'all. So before I begin the reading, I just want to shout out Patreon. Tier 3, your first tarot class has posted. I'm so excited to visit with you later on today. Tier 1 and Tier 2, late morning, early afternoon, your post is going to go live. So thank you guys so much for being in that space with me, growing and evolving alongside me, and then also each other. Okay, so shout out to Patreon. I'm going to begin this reading. Y'all, I'm talking to a starseed, and if they didn't know who you were before, oh, they definitely know who you are now. Let's just describe what it means to be a starseed. Starseeds carry a very deep desire, hunger, and thirst for knowledge and wisdom. Starseeds are typically going to be souls that originated from other planets, star systems, and dimensions. You came here for a specific mission and a specific person. Imagine a substitute teacher. You're only hired to fulfill a specific day. And so you integrate, but you don't integrate to really become a part of a school. You only integrate to fulfill the mission or the purpose. Maybe you're subbing for one class. Maybe it's for a few classes. Maybe you have a long-term sub position for a few months, but there's something that you have that a system needs. And so you are seeded and integrated in order to serve and fulfill a purpose or a mission. That's what starseeds are. Earth is evolving. It is growing. It is expanding consciously. And so starseeds, you have done before the exact thing that Earth is doing now. You have done this elsewhere. And so why not hire a sub? When I say sub, it's almost like they are hiring a power. Earth, the power that starseeds bring is not a power that is sustained on Earth consistently. And so you have to contract it out. Starseeds are contractors. They are contractors, but you're universal contractors. You can go anywhere at any time to fulfill a role or to fulfill a duty. And so in this lifetime, you have been contracted because Earth hasn't been able to possess consistently what it is you bring. Like there's not enough of its population, of its energy, of its frequency, of its inhabitants that carry what starseeds carry. So you contract the starseeds to come here. They participate in double missions. A double mission says that not only do you have to evolve and expand your own consciousness, but the society that you've been integrated to, you also have to evolve them. All right? Because what you have, they need. And you come here bringing something unique. The starseeds are going to help raise Earth vibrationally. That's your job. You have been contracted to do so. Starseeds deal with a lot of judgment. And so because you come from elsewhere, because you have this dual mission, you carry a strong sense of purpose, but initially it may be a struggle for you to kind of find it or identify it. And so if you struggle to find out who you are, imagine how society receives you vibrationally or energetically. Okay. And so there is some type of heightened sensitivity that starseeds have. You may have feelings of loneliness. At times you may feel like, why am I so misunderstood? Like to yourself, you seem so simple and practical, but based on how people receive and perceive you, it's like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with you? Like you just don't understand why it is so complex to understand your mission and your purpose, especially when it is one of purity. Okay. And so sometimes, the intensity of earthly emotions can be heavy for a starseed. The energy of Earth is very dense, and humanity is a very harsh species. And that doesn't always resonate with starseeds. Okay. And so there is an adjustment period, but this is essentially a planet where you've been contracted to serve a purpose. And not everybody understands the purpose that you were serving. And so the judgment that starseeds faced, it's going to be based on assumption. Sometimes people won't even get close enough to you to really experience you. They will look at you from a distance and they will just assume and they'll fill in the blank. Or maybe it is your appearance. Not that you don't look human, but it is like the appearance of your life. Why is your life different? Why is your life set up like that? Why don't you have a normal life like a normal human? Like there's just something about you that unfolds a little differently. And so people look at the appearance of your life and then they judge you. And then finally, hearsay. Some people don't look at you. Some people don't even get close enough to assume. Some just settle for hearsay. Some people have never crossed paths with you. You've never done anything to them. But in their mind, they know everything possible about you because of what they heard from another person. Those are actually the most dangerous. And so the judgment that you have faced, it has come in a variety of ways. But right now, you are identified very clearly in the minds of those that judge you. You are coming out as holding the Ace of Swords. Now, I'm using one of my new tarot decks. This is the Hermetic Tarot. And so the Ace of Swords in this deck is called the Lord of Root, of the power of air. When the Ace of Swords is drawn, this is like the moment when the clouds part. This is if you were standing in fog, this is when the fog totally just dissipates. And what was unclear is now clear. Your identity that was unknown is now known. Anybody that didn't have clarity, if there was a truth about you or surrounding you that could not be accessed for a period of time, like the truth of you, your identity, your purpose, your form, your mission, like now people know who you are. But unfortunately, somebody had to make a wrong decision in order to discover you. And so I literally have a card that says wrong decision, and it's not handwritten, but this is saying like somebody did not think before they acted. Somebody was very reckless, and unfortunately, reckless behavior can lead to consequences. Somebody made a wrong decision, and now they are literally face to face with your sword. You carry a sword of truth and justice. I almost feel like the sword activates once an offense has taken place, meaning if you are attacked, if somebody moves against you energetically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, if you are moved against in a reckless way because somebody has poorly attached a judgment to you, when they carry this judgment about you, they swear it is true. Sometimes people swear they know you. And they get so confident and comfortable in what they think they know about you that they will act. They will create a plan. I have work. So somebody literally goes to work, possibly against you based on a judgment. Somebody is focused. They're trying to develop. They're committed. Somebody is confident that this path that they took to move against you with some understanding of who you are, they thought that their outcome was guaranteed. But if you're carrying the sword of truth, this is like I am who I am. I said what I said. All right, y'all. So I'm going to break down this reading and it'll kind of describe what's going on. So the very first card that I pull is success. When success comes out, this is congratulations. And so this is literally a congratulatory message to the starseed, which is saying, hey, your creations are on the way. I also want to say that the sword, the Ace of Swords, this is like a breakthrough moment. And so if there was something that was stagnant, if there was something that just like wasn't moving, this is a breakthrough moment for a starseed. And so you should have a level of confidence because you should understand that even if you still have to be patient, your harvest is going to happen. Your harvest is absolutely going to happen. And so the success is coming out to say, hey, your mind power, your brilliance, your intelligence, your ability to analyze data and logic, the way you think rationally and the way you have led with your mind is guaranteeing a harvest for you. Starseed, you're being described as the daughter of the flaming sword. This card is for fortitude. Y'all, this is the strength card in major arcana. This is the 8th card in the major arcana. This means that you can either be a lamb or a lion. When we're talking about being strong, this is about you being able to control your own carnal, animalistic nature. Y'all, there are some times where we have to become an entire beast. There are other times where we must be gentle, like a dove. And so this says that this starseed is very versatile in how they control themselves. When we're talking about your level of fortitude, this says that you have courage, but you have courage during pain. Courage is like, I'm going to do it even if I'm scared. Can you imagine doing something when you are scared and in pain? That's the type of courage that the starseed has. This is why you're being described as having fortitude. And so you are the beast. And sometimes you have to even subdue and calm the beast in you. And so you just have this level of strength, and it can be fierce or it can be gentle, and it arrives in difficulty. And so sometimes people will bring you a level of aggression that almost activates the beast in you to come alive. And once it comes alive, there's no turning it off. Like now it just has to fulfill the mission of the moment. And so people recognize that they made a wrong decision. Your mind power is lethal. There's a certain amount of joy that you feel when your strength is exercised, meaning when you turn up, when you activate, something inside feels good to you. You're like, okay, I know what this is. I've been here before. You have an ease about you where you show ease even during strength. You make pain look easy. You make difficulty look easy. And it is only because you have a level of self-possession, self-power, and self-control. And so there's no enemy outside of you that can really cause you any harm because you are a beast, but you have tamed yourself. I have a card that describes you as being socially aware. So you are a starseed that really celebrates the differences of people. You are aligned, meaning energetically, your posture is upright. Sometimes people have a tendency to sit in a slouched or a slump position, and their shoulders kind of round, and they may have a slunch, like a humpback a little bit. And so imagine energetically when your chakras are not aligned, it looks like you're slouching. You're not standing upright. Well, in this reading, this says, starseed, you are at full attention. Every one of your chakras is in its perfect alignment. And when your chakras are aligned, your mind power is just going to target success again and again and again. And so your confidence is going to hit these milestones, and your harvest is going to come consistently because you have possessed your power flawlessly. Once you do this, your protection is activated. And so I see something here, and it talks about boredom. This says that at some point you're going to have to express your hidden gifts. Like there is more to you that you must uncover. There is more to you that you must unearth. And so the level of boredom that you may feel or that people may think surrounds your life. Sometimes people may think you don't know how to do, like you're just not a good time. You're kind of a stick in the mud. You're like, rah, rah. But like literally, because you move energetically in alignment, because your chakras and your posture is true to form, y'all, you just this is what I'm saying about people making judgments about the appearance of your life. And so sometimes when it looks like you are still and stuck and doing nothing, y'all, you are actually in full-blown alchemy mode. Do you hear me? Somebody be like, oh, you ain't doing shit. You bored. You ain't got nothing going on. You are actually in the process of transforming the situation. Sometimes your stillness is really you communing with God. It is really you learning the moves and the ways in which God is asking you to reshape your life or to reshape yourself. This is like the moment when the caterpillar is in the cocoon and you kind of forget about him. And then it comes out as a butterfly and you're like, oh shit. But this is what you do, starseed. That is your alchemical moment. Your stillness is your cocoon. And what happens next is what people are not prepared for. But it is the moment that defines that you are really a butterfly. You are really this being that can transform. You are this being that can kind of draw inside of itself. And when it comes out again, it can be totally different. But you can possess that at will. One of my handmade cards says, you reshape the past by inserting yourself from the future into the past. And so this is what your alchemy looks like. This is what you do with your mind successfully. All right. Now, I have a card and this is saying that when it looks like you are bored, one of the reasons when you go into this stillness, like when your cocoon activates, it is because of the Lord of unstable effort. So we got the 7 of Swords here. And so here you are a beast of fortitude. Somebody makes a wrong decision and they come to activate you, which means they are really being reckless. They are moving against you and all of a sudden you are activated. When your protection shield opens up, the alchemy of you is starting to move. This is where you're starting to transform your situation. So this is saying mid-attack, you freeze, you get still. And when you get still, you literally go back in time. You go back in time and change the moment. You reshape the recklessness of what happened. But y'all, this is happening in your mind. This is how your alchemy happens, okay? It is about your ability to reshape your entire future because you have changed your past. And so somebody can attack you and you can almost wipe out the entire attack by being very still, by going into your mind, by communing with the Most High. And it looks like you're bored. It looks like nothing's happening. Sometimes people attack you and they think that you have absolutely gone dormant permanently, but you are literally transforming the attack real time. Okay. And so it's like once you feel something, your body goes into protection mode, but you don't really reflect that. Everything is just progressing as normal, but you are actually changing the attack. And so whoever made a wrong decision is experiencing the fact that you can't be touched. People attempt to bring you unstable effort. Y'all, that's the 7 of Swords. And sometimes people are going to want to betray your confidence. They are wanting to go, they want to go against you. They want their judgment to be true. I have a card that says health concern. And so you are protected from health concerns, but those that attack you are not covered by your protection. And so your alchemy can change the attack. But what it can't do is protect the attacker from receiving the outcome of whatever it sent you. Y'all, you are committed to your growth. One of the reasons why these attacks are always going to be unsuccessful is because of the amount of courage and desire that you carry. Your courage is what initiates you. The level of creativity, the way you can imagine a bigger and better you. Every attack shrinks you. It makes you small. It makes you less. When you start to feel less of yourself, you're activated. The alchemy begins. And so you start to grow. I think one of the worst things for a starseed to feel is stagnancy. Right? You just don't identify with that. You literally came here to grow a system, to grow a group, a species. And so stagnancy, others will look at you as sitting still, but that is just really a piece or a component of your alchemy. One of my handmade cards says the enemy will suffer. There has been an awareness of ill will, jealousy, and envy. You know, some people don't understand you, but at the same time that they don't understand you, they're jealous and they're envious of you, of just your mind power, of your alchemy, but also your loyalty. The fact that you are loyal to this mission, even when the attacks are consistent. The fact that you don't quit, even when you are made to feel small, broken, scattered, and shattered. You do everything possible to grow. You know that there's always a bigger, better you. And there's no amount of brokenness that stops you from knowing that truth. And so the loyalty that you carry for your mission, for your purpose, for your identity, like that level of loyalty is one of your most important values. And so when people come to you, they almost come to you bringing, I have one of the tarot cards. It says Lord of Peace Restored. So this is the Two of Swords. When people come, they recognize that your mind is your most powerful asset or gift. And so the way to truly attack, dismantle, or weaken you is to break your mind. And so this is a wrong decision that the enemy has made again and again and again. And every time somebody attempts this, they meet your sword. They meet the truth, aka justice. They must face justice. And so the Lord of Peace Restored says that, listen, even in suffering, you possess a strength. Even in pain, you still possess pleasure. There is a level of sorrow and sympathy that you have even during troubling times, right? And so you are walking justice. And there's something about you, even if you don't really approve of what it means, because if you are walking justice, this means that you are always going to go against opposition. You must continuously meet opposition to bring it back to a state of balance. But y'all, that literally could be your entire life. Like that could be what you do, but you are a master at it. And although it means that you are a full-time warrior, somehow you make peace. You find pleasure, you find comfort in knowing that what I'm doing is not always easy. But I'm committed, I'm loyal, I'm gonna grow, I'm socially aware, I celebrate the differences in people, even if people cannot celebrate the difference that is me, right? And so y'all, you're just a beautiful being. There's no way of saying it. And so sometimes you may not understand how to receive or really decode who you are. And you will definitely have to deal with that in the same society that you are trying to serve. But y'all, you have a sword that most people can't see until it's too late. And so people look at you, but they look at you through foggy lenses. And some people are going to make a decision based on an improper judgment of who you are. And it will literally put them in a state where they have they literally jeopardize their own health in a variety of ways. It's okay to misjudge people, but to allow a thought to cause you to act recklessly against someone that has never done anything to you, that is a wild move. But this is humanity. And this is why starseeds are here, because you know better. You know better. But unfortunately, knowing better means that you are going to be up against a lot of people who don't know better. And so this is an aspect of your mission. This is an aspect of your purpose, but you have a level of protection where you don't perish. And this is where we often hear about mortality or immortality. And this is really where the enemy feels most jealous, because it's like, well, why won't you just break? Why won't you, And so they get envious and jealous of the fact that it seems like you are indestructible. Now, that is not true. But it is about how you have structured your mind power, how you have structured your chakras, your posture. It is the way you understand your own alchemy. You are a walking defense system. And at the same time, you are walking justice. And you are so loyal to the craft that there's really no room for error. There's no room for anybody to slip through the cracks because of how tight your values are. Like you don't slip. What do they say? I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. Like you do this in other star systems, dimensions, reality. Like this is, and so like the gravity of what it means to be a starseed, sometimes we can forget how great that position is when we're on Earth and you don't get people recognizing you often. You don't get people celebrating you, saying thank you or high five. I mean, everybody wants to know that their work and their effort is honored. Like, you kind of want to know, like, but starseeds are not going to get a lot of celebration from the same people or groups that they help or assist. A lot of the people that you assist are going to be those that attack you. Those are the last people that are going to say thank you. They're definitely not going to say I'm sorry. But you, the attack against you, the recklessness that they display against you is the very moment that changes them. The alchemy of you, the justice of you changes the character and the nature of them. And so starseeds are able to collectively evolve Earth, but it is because they touch one soul at a time. Every attack is a moment of evolution. When you attack a starseed, you have made a wrong decision, but you have also triggered a pivotal moment in your own evolution, because what happens next will forever change you. What happens next you will always remember and you will never forget. And unfortunately, it is because there is a level of suffering that you must go through until your inner peace is restored so that you don't fuck around and do that shit again. Okay? All right, y'all. I love you. So this is our Monday message. I'll see some of y'all later on Patreon, and I'll see the rest of you tomorrow. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.